Hey everyone, welcome to Healerverse. I'm going to be interviewing some of my holistic practitioner and spiritual friends to bring you more information about what's out there. We're going to have so much fun. I cannot wait. Love you guys. Everybody, welcome. This is my friend Athena Bahri, and she was kind enough to join us today to tell us more about what she's working on, what spiritual modality she has and healing modalities. I love that she's also a Reiki healer. She's a Reiki Master, a Crystal Reiki Master, and she's an author. And yeah, can't wait to hear more about it. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
It
is a gift to be sharing energy with you today and with your audience. So thank you.
Yay. So yeah, tell us more about Crystal Reiki and what you do with that.
Yes. So I started with Reiki just as, everyone does. And through my own healing journey, I lived with chronic pain for 16 years. And I had gone through everything in Western medicine, followed all the doctor's orders, took all the pills, all the injections and the surgery and everything. And I just wasn't getting better. I was living with pain. And so I started looking into Reiki because I was like, there has to be something else. Like, this can't be the end of the line, right? Like, no, I'm not going to be on meds my whole life. I have 3 kids. I have a husband. Like, I don't have time to be like knocked out on meds. So I started looking into alternative ways to take care of myself. And with Reiki, that was a huge part of it. And then I couldn't get enough. It was like, okay, I need more. I need more. Like, it just was flowing through me so like with such incredible speed. And I really had this like calling to it because I'd never had a Reiki session even before. So it was like, this is what I want to do. And I remember telling my husband, so I want to study Reiki. And he's like, what? Who does that? Who does Reiki? Like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, I'm going to do Reiki. That's what's going to happen. And then it was like, okay, I'm going to start an Instagram page. And he's like, oh my God, such a waste of time. Nobody makes money on Instagram. I'm like, really? Okay, watch me. I'm going to do it. And I just started like everything that I was like putting my focus into was part of my own healing journey. And then with crystals, it started with like, the little like $2, $5 rocks to like giant amethyst rings, right? And hearts, and like they're all over my house now. And my husband buys me amazing pieces, which is, I'm so grateful. But I started feeling this real connection because the thing with Reiki and part of why I love it so much is you're channeling this just incredible, awe-inspiring, divine light, energy, healing. And every time I'm getting chills even talking about it.
Me too.
It's like, woo.
And
every time you talk, you channel that to someone else, you're also receiving this healing too. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I found that a lot of my clients and myself, we have very specific needs or very specific points of focus that we want to handle. Like, when you go to the doctor and you're like, oh, I have a headache. Okay, here's your prescription for a headache. But with Reiki, it's kind of like, no, we're going to get to the root of everything. And we're going to work through your old traumas. We're going to work through all of these things. And you're like, but I want to work on sleep now. I don't want to work on childhood trauma. So when I introduced this crystal energy, it really was a game changer because now you could draw on crystals that support you here in the physical dimension, if you will. And so like working with amethyst, you can't sleep. Okay, you work with amethyst. It helps you have a better night's sleep. And, you want to work on vivid dreaming, lucid dreaming. Okay, let's grab, your labradorite. Let's, all these different stones that can help us channel that energy into our physical plane. And Reiki works, it's like the ultimate amplifier, right? So you're taking divine healing energy, you're taking divine Mother Earth energy, and you're bringing them together. And the healing effects are just, I live today with no pain. I have 6 screws, I have 2 brackets, 4 bolts. I have all this, I'm like the bionic woman. I have all these things in there, and I was handed pain prescriptions. Like, here, you're going to have this the rest of your life. Like, sorry, we can try to help you manage your pain, but this is kind of what it is. And, I just wasn't willing to accept that. And through these energy healing modalities, I live with no pain. I take no medication. If I have an ailment, I work on myself. If my kids have something, tummy aches, whatever it is, it's like, here, come. And I'm working with them with crystals, but with Reiki, through them. And it's opened the most incredible doors. I've met the most amazing people. I've been on this journey I never imagined. If you told me even 5 years ago, I would think you were nuts. This is what I'm going to do. No way. Next, in 2 weeks, I'm going back to the UK. I think you're in Greece, right?
I'm in the UK now. I'm in London.
Yeah. Oh, you're in London.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was in London in April for the Mind, Body, Spirit, Wellbeing Festival, and they've invited me back. I'll be in Birmingham in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's
Birmingham.
amazing.
My husband corrects
amazing.
me. Yeah. Leading 2 workshops there. One is Raise Your Vibes, a Crystal Reiki healing experience for balanced chakras, and it's awesome because I actually get to engage with the guests, with the people who come and attend, and help perform Reiki for them and heal them. And in London, it was amazing. I mean, we had people crying, emotional release. We had those falling asleep, deep meditation, I like to call it. We had people whose hands started shaking when I came next to them. It was just the most incredible experience, and being able to share that now across the globe, it's just another example of the blessings and the opportunities that Reiki has opened for me, because I wasn't doing this on my own. I definitely had divine help and intervention here, and then I'll also be doing my newest one is manifesting with Reiki, because so many of us love manifesting, right? Huge topic. How do I manifest? How do I do it? Or what I'm manifesting isn't working. So let's just pour some divine energy on that, right? Let's just help you manifest those dreams. And Reiki is incredible because it also directs your focus, right? So you can come into line with what your purpose is, what you're doing here, why you're doing it, and helps kind of like distract from all the minutia, all the stuff, the busy stuff of your life. So you can really kind of zero in on what's important and get that manifesting language, down to what you really intend, and what, your intention is everything. So I'm really excited to be going back. If you're anywhere near Birmingham, please come. I would love to see you.
I'm going to look it up, and I'm definitely going to try to come. I'm like, how far is Birmingham? I'm just randomly in London right now. I'm spontaneous. I was supposed to be in Greece for 2.5 weeks, and it turned into 4 months. Now I'm in London, and I'm just going with it. Eventually I have to go to Tulum, and then I'll probably come back here. We'll see.
No, I love London. I lived in London, it's like 20 years ago now. For a while, I had like a brief, 6-month. It was one of those, I'm going to go for 2 weeks for vacation, and I stayed for 6 months.
I love that.
Yeah. So going back in April was like, I'm like home. It was really nice. It's a beautiful city, beautiful people.
I love that.
They're different than the people here from LA, but in such a wonderful way. So yeah, I really enjoy. I'm so grateful to be going back. It's awesome.
I'm so excited. Hopefully I'll see you. I don't think Birmingham's far. So
I think it's like 3-hour train ride. I mean, it's a commitment, but well worth it, right?
Definitely worth it. Because that's one of the things I've been finding here. I'm like, all right, where are my people? How do I find them?
That's where you will find them. Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, it's
exactly.
the biggest well-being festival in England. They have them, there's one, and I know they have in Australia. There's some in other, in other continents. But in England, the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival is like the big one. I mean, 15, 16, 17,000 people roll through there.
Oh, I'll be there.
You'll find your element. You'll find your people, your tribe. Yeah. And amazing.
I love that.
you talk about your Healerverse. I mean, this is the place to go and meet the healers from, because we fly in from all over, and
Yeah. Yes.
sound healing, crystal Reiki healing, yogis. There's people who work with, all kinds of different modalities,
Oh
intuitive
yeah.
painting. It's awesome. So I'm
There's so
excited.
much. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much. And it's like, how do you even find out what everything is? That's why I'm doing Healerverse, because it's like, how do you find out what everything is? Put it all in one place and put all the spiritual people in one place, and you can only imagine what will happen.
Oh my God. Awesome, right? Sky's the limit.
And I have to tell you, like, Reiki has been the most profound experiences for me. That's where I've gotten the most downloads, the most healing. Like when I've gotten healing done, I'm a Reiki too also, and I just kind of don't practice it regularly, like on like clients or anything, but when I'm walking out and about, I'm sending Reiki around and loving light and Reiki.
I love that.
But
Yes.
I've had the most profound healing, groundbreaking downloads from, like, and
it opens doors that you never thought possible. I mean, every time I finish a Reiki session, I finish with gratitude. That's part of like my own thing. And it's always thank you, Reiki, for like the abundance of blessings you continue to pour into my life. Like just awe-inspiring, knee bending, so grateful. I mean, I loved it so much. I went on and I got 3 different masters. Like I studied with 4 different coaches, 4 masters. I worked with so many people, and then I'm like, okay, where's the next one? There was one just last weekend. I really wanted to study. He was finally in LA. He works out of Branstein. He works out of or Stein. I'm not sure how to say that, but I studied with his student because I couldn't get to him. It was during COVID, during the lockdown. And I was like, no, I want the Japanese lineage. Like, this is what I want. Like I've studied the Western, I've studied Crystal Reiki, I've done all of that. It's amazing, mind-blowing, changed my life. Now I want the Japanese version. So it was like, and I learned all these incredible, meditations, techniques, things that they don't really teach in your typical like weekend, session or workshop that you take. So you get to learn so much. And every master you study with, you learn like a new element, a new way of approaching Reiki. And they're all wonderful. Like I have no judgments against any of them. Every single one I've taken a piece from and just exploded with this incredible energy and reaching people and helping people heal. Because it's really about empowering them. It's empowering you to take your power back in your own healing journey. I mean, like myself, it wasn't about, oh, I want to take a class and, work on clients and make money. It was never about that. It was about healing myself. And then once I did, it was like, okay, the world needs to know, how do I pay this forward? So I wrote a book, which was amazing. I had, again, one of those things from Instagram or my blog that I was like, nobody's going to see this. Nobody's going to pay attention. And 2 publishers reached out. Hey, we want to write a book. I was like, okay. And I love to write. I always have since I was a kid. Journaling is so empowering as well. So I wrote this book, Raise Your Vibes, Energy Self-Healing for Everyone, which is here. And this thing is like, some people are like, it's the Bible of energy healing, because I really tried to cover as much as I could in there. Moon cycles, sound healing, crystal healing, Reiki, of course. There's also a section in the beginning, because Reiki should be available to everybody. So I have like a Reiki level 1 attunement in there. We call it a self-attunement, but I've blessed the book with Reiki. So it's you're kind of getting my attunement through the book, right? And I've had an amazing response to it. And when I was writing it, my publisher's like, okay, you got to stop. This thing is going to be 500 pages. I'm like, we need to put this in. We need to put that in. This is important. That's important. Gratitude, self-love, emotional healing, grief, all of these things are, experiences that, we live through with, just being here in the physical plane. So having tools to kind of guide us through this in the best way possible, so we continue our journey, raising our vibes and high elevation of our consciousness, because that then spreads out to everybody around you.
Yes. Yes, you're speaking my language.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Like if you
Yeah.
go to the market and you're at the
Yeah.
checkout
Yes.
and you can feel like, okay, maybe I'm an empath, fine. But even if you're not an empath, you can tell when somebody's having a really crap day, right? Like
Mm.
it just pours
Yeah.
off of them, that
Mhm.
negativity. And it's kind of like, you can't wait to get out of the store. Like, oh my God,
Yes.
get me away. So
Mhm.
imagine if you're pouring this love out,
Yep.
you are then vibrating that to people around you and they
Yep.
feel that. They feel
Yes.
love instead of negativity. And then they feel better. So then they go on and they spread that forward. And it's like
I
this
always say
domino
this.
effect.
I can't believe it. I mean,
I
I
love it.
can cancel. I can believe you're saying this right now, but word for word, I always share the exact thing you just said. I
Oh,
just, it's like, if one person can just be helped and they're radiating and because, the
yes.
more negativity we see, the more that's spread and the more positivity and love and light, the more that spreads. And you could go into a room and change the entire vibe of an entire room, just one person. It's
Yeah.
amazing by being so light and full of so much love. I love that.
Yes, yes, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
energy is everywhere. So why
Mm.
not create positive energy that you can create positive changes around you? I mean,
Yeah.
we have enough stuff in the world that's negative. Like, I'm so done. I'm so done with all of
Yep.
that. Like,
Exactly.
okay, it's
Same.
time to change the vibe. Let's shift this energy
It's
and shift
time.
this vibration because we all crave love. We all
Yeah.
crave being valued. We all crave feeling good about ourselves, and yet we have this voice in our head that's like, no, you're crap, no, you can't do it, no, you'll never make it. Turn that off and start emitting that love, because that
Yeah.
changes everything in your life. I mean, it's just, and for the lives of those around you. I mean, my
Mhm.
family, my God, we're such a, I mean, knock on wood, but we're like, this really like the, okay, so like the COVID lockdowns, which was horrible for everybody, that was like one of the best times for our family. Like together with our togetherness, I was writing a book, we were playing with crystals, we were swimming in the pool, we were just like really enjoying
Yes.
being with each other and supporting each other and not having all the busyness of the world. So
Yes.
it was actually a really nice time for us. And I did a lot of distance healing work. So I was making sure to do my part to, help those that were struggling and maybe not in such a blessed place that I was. It was like, okay, well, I'm enjoying this, so you need to too. So let's go. Let's make it happen.
I love that. Yeah, like definitely the communication over like, distance like really escalated and a lot of people woke up spiritually and were like, okay, like I don't really want to do this. I want to look for things that are gonna help me to level up spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally and like, people started really finding their tribe over COVID, I think. I mean, over COVID, over lockdown and
Yes.
also, like, I even started seeing spirits over lockdown. I was like, wow, this is so cool. And I'm like, who do I even talk to about this?
What is happening?
Yeah, like this
Yeah.
is epic. Because I did have a near-death experience in 2014. I went to the other side and came back. And 10-day
Amazing.
coma. Yeah.
Yeah.
86 degrees, my body temperature. So like I get that I might be a little bit more receptive to this stuff and maybe like, other people or certain people or something, but I was like, this is amazing. Like bring it
It
on.
is. It
And
is.
love it. Yeah.
Yes, I've had a couple of those. Unfortunately, I guess, or fortunately, depending how you look at it. The whole journey with the back started, I rolled over in a car 4 times on the freeway.
Oh,
I got right before I was supposed to go in for a double fusion surgery.
wow.
I swear it was divine intervention. This is years later, of course. I was in, the backyard, totally riddled in nerve pain, like beyond like the point where you can't think, right? Because it's so it really takes over your consciousness even. And I'm scheduled for this double fusion and then I contract typhus. Like I live in Calabasas. I have, a cement patio. Like where is that coming from? Right. So I get murine typhus get crazy sick, like fever rigors, like they're like seizures, right? You go into these like convulsions and you can't breathe, you get fluid in your lungs. It's like a whole thing. And if you don't get the correct medication, you can die, right? This is how it works. But when you go into a hospital here in Los Angeles, nobody gets typhus in Los Angeles, right? It's like, were you traveling recently? And I'm like, no, look at me. I can't move. I'm not going anywhere. Were you hiking? And I'm like, again, look at me. I can't move. And then it was by, like, I swear, the grace of one of our very dear friends who's a doctor, and she's incredible, looked at my lab work and she was like, you have murine typhus. Tell them you have to have this specific medication. She's like, they're not going to want to give it to you. They're going to want to give you all these other ones. And that's fine. Let them give it to you, but make sure you get this one. And it was that one that I finally healed. And it was like a 6-week, 8-week recovery. Right. And I saw angels. I had my past relatives in the hospital room with me. And that was, let me tell you, it took a while to even talk about it, because I thought, okay, I'm literally crazy. Like I'm losing it. And my poor sister, she's like, oh my God, Athena's dying. She started a whole prayer group on Facebook. She's like, oh my God, my sister's dying. She's seeing ghosts. Like, it was like this whole thing. And when I recovered from this, it was like, that's the only thing that would have kept me from having that double fusion. Because if I had had the flu, or if I had a cold, any other ailment, I would have been under that table with that doctor. And that was just clearly not meant for me. So in the end, I had a single fusion, and I still have like 3-4 terrible discs. But like I said, I was like, I want to take my power back. I'm tired of depending on what you guys say. So we'll do the double fusion because I have a fracture, and okay, can't fix that, right? So let's put my spine, make it stable. But for the other levels, that's when I started really getting to my energy healing. I was like, I'm going to do this myself. Like, I'm going to take care of it. You're not taking my power away from me. So it was really this incredible experience. And I got to see past loved ones. So it was sometimes our most miserable moments, our most painful, dire moments, being in comas, rolling over in cars, dying from typhus, losing a loved one and being just ravaged by grief. These are the moments that we also find our strength. We find that, like, picking us up by the bootstraps, we've got our angels there, our team pulling us up, like, nope, you're not done yet. You got to go and and when you go and make creative, positive, amazing changes with that second chance, that's when you start to see really inspiring growth, elevation, consciousness rising with all of the people you come into contact with. And it's such a blessing. I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, would you take it back? Right?
No, it's honestly the best thing that ever happened to me. My life prior to that was a total mess and destructive disaster. And since then, I have had the opportunity to help people, and I can't think of anything better than that. Like you've been sharing the whole time. It's like really, like, to be able to take your pain and turn it into purpose. I mean, we definitely have big shoes to fill with everything we've been through, and it's like, it's honestly amazing. Like, I enjoy it. I love spreading love and helping people through what I've been through, and to give people hope too. We can give people hope with like a solution. Like, hey, there's like, there's another way. Like, if we can do it, you can do it. That's our motto. If we can do it, you can do it.
You can do it. Absolutely. Yeah. Because who are we? I'm not some like magical guru person, right? Like, no way. I'm just like I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm, a woman in the world trying to find her way, right? Like, a mother, a daughter. I'm just like everybody else, a friend. And I have found another way to really come into my purpose. And it's just about paying that forward and sharing that. I mean, hopefully not everybody has to go through like a near-death experience
right.
to have
that.
Because I don't think you have to have such a traumatic experience to have this
Yeah.
shift. And it's like, please, let's get you there before you have to have your entire world shaken upside down, right? Like,
I'm glad you said that.
not lose. Yes,
Mhm,
yes.
exactly. Like anything, like you can start from anywhere. Like there's like any bottom is good enough, and it doesn't even have to be a bottom really per se. Like wherever you're at, like you're ready for Reiki, you're ready for healing, you're, because everyone has handled things in this lifetime, past lives, etc., like differently. And it's literally like as deep as our DNA,
Yes, yes.
and like, and our spiritual being too. And like something like Reiki, like, I mean, I just have my own experience and being a Reiki healer, but also like just experiencing it. Like today is the day to start, and
I
like,
vote yes.
yeah, me too. I vote
Yeah,
yes.
I vote yes. I vote yes.
And it's like, a lot of people don't know that much about it, even possibly like most of the collective, right? So
Right.
yeah, like
Right. It's really kind of coming back.
yeah.
I mean, people say like Reiki, what is that? And I'm like, well, and I try to explain, it's like, you really should just try it, because
Yeah,
it's just
right.
one of those, you can feel it. You feel it physically, you feel it emotionally, you feel it spiritually, and it creates incredible positive shifts in your life. And you don't have to go through a near-death experience to find this. Everybody has their own battles. Everybody has their own demons. I mean, look, nobody gets out of here alive, right? So we all have,
Yeah.
our own personal struggles. And so it's not
Yeah.
that my pain is more than yours or yours is more than mine. To each person, that pain is relevant and deserves to be honored for what it is, but also deserves healing. So taking your power back, not being dependent on a doctor, not that you should stop seeing your doctor for any means,
Yeah.
right? Like that's not my department. But you shouldn't be dependent on me either. You shouldn't be dependent on a healer. You should be dependent on yourself. I mean, our body is an incredible self-healing vessel. And that goes for your emotional body, your spiritual body, your physical body. I mean, think about when if you cut yourself, right? If you cut yourself and you get a bunch of dirt in there and you don't take care of it, what happens? You get an infection, you get maybe an ugly scar. It takes longer to heal. But if you give it this wonderful environment where it stays clean, maybe some cream on there, a nice band-aid, keeping it covered, but in an environment where it can heal, next thing you know, you have brand new skin. Your body does that without you doing anything intentionally.
That's so cool.
It's amazing. So if you think about how your body can heal from a cut, just imagine how your cells can come and really pull together to heal even the most extreme wounds, if you will, within us, and we have the ability to do that. Just creating that environment where you can self-heal. And I love to do that personally with Reiki and with Crystal Reiki, but whatever works for you, that's what you should be doing. If you feel called to, I love sound baths. Oh my God. I mean, obviously I have my sound bowls all over. First time I had a sound bath, I felt like I was transported out into space, like floating in the universe. And it was the most insane experience. And I wasn't super hippie, as my kids call me now. I wasn't super hippie then. And I was just like, oh my God, like, what is this? Like, I need more. It was like addictive almost. It was like, how do I get to that place again? And then it was like, it started this whole journey where it was like, okay, I'm doing Reiki. Okay, I'm doing sound. Okay, I'm doing crystals. Okay. And it's like it's one of those things you can't have too much. You can't have too much energy healing. You really can't. It's not like you can have too much medication. You can't have too much energy healing. It's one of those things. It's like the more the merrier, it really is. Like, yes,
please. My entire body has changed since I did Reiki. It's totally changed. Like, because, like a lot of like, you carry like a lot of trauma, like in your gut, right? Mine shrunk. And sometimes like I'll do Reiki on myself. Like, I don't even know what's blocked right now. You know what I mean? Like the energies have been like, the last like week or so for me have been like intense, but I must be upgrading.
Oh yeah. Well, it's in those moments where you have those intense period and those, what we would, I guess, term struggles, that you really start to like also learn about yourself, and your imagination kicks in, where you can find solutions that maybe you didn't think about before, and it's like, oh, okay, I know now I can work with this energy or that one. And you're just continuing that cycle of positive change. And it's not to say, if you do Reiki, or you do Crystal Reiki, or work with any of these energy healings, that your life is always going to be all roses. Okay. So
Right.
it's not. Okay. So welcome to the human condition.
Exactly.
Yes, you're going to have those moments of struggle, but how we choose to respond to those struggles or those harder moments, that's what makes a huge difference in your life and impacts those around you. Can't control what happens. We can control how we respond, and that's
so
what's important.
to take that time to yourself too. Like some people are like, I don't have time. And I'm like, yeah, you do. It's like, take time for yourself. If you're not taking time for yourself, then really like everything goes better when we take time for ourselves, when we continue to work on ourselves, and to have also like the consciousness of like, okay, this is off, and having a solution for it, having different solutions for what works for us, like you said, based on just knowing ourselves better, like doing something like Reiki, Crystal Reiki with Athena, like we get to know ourselves better, and then we know what's wrong. Maybe we need more rest. Maybe we need to drink more water, like really having like the consciousness to take the time for ourselves to know what we need.
Yes. Well, you can't pour from an empty cup, you have to think of it that way. And you can keep giving and giving and giving. And there's so many out there that are givers, and they find themselves so depleted, just absolutely exhausted. And yet they keep saying yes, and they keep saying, okay, I will. And I'm one of these people, like this was me, right? Where it was like, okay, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I can. Okay. And then I'm just exhausted. And I had this, it was really cool. When I first started my Instagram page, I had someone had posted, it was like one of my early followers had posted something like, hey, I'm learning tarot and I want to do, free readings. And I was like, sure, I'll try it. So we do this reading together, and I felt like, I don't want to just take from you. So if it's okay with you, I'd love to do a distance Reiki session, just, as a fair, energy exchange. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. During my reading, and this is like right before my surgery, because I had all these questions about my surgery, of course. And he's like, you can't pour from an empty cup, love. You've got to start refilling your cup. I was like, wow, what does that mean? He's like, you're giving to everyone, everywhere, and you're not taking your time for yourself. And when you do that, you have so much to keep pouring. You can just keep, it's like endless, right? Fountain of youth. You just keep pouring as long as you refill your cup. So when we feel like being selfish is selfish, you're not. You're giving yourself a chance to, regroup, recharge. It's like filling up your gas tank. The car can't go forever. You have to refill your gas tank. You have to refill your cup. And then you can just keep going, right? And you feel good. You feel good. So when you're thinking about self-care or taking care of yourself, just think, by taking care of myself, I am also taking care of my loved ones. And that's important, because if that's where your focus is, I have to take care of my kids. Moms do this all the time, especially because it's, it's a constant. I have 3. Let me tell you, it's a constant juggle. And if I'm not taking care of myself, what kind of mom am I to them? Right. So taking care of myself makes me better for them. So that's, it's just one way to kind of look at it for those that have guilt about taking care of yourself. Please don't have guilt. You are so important. As much as you love them and you love other people, you have to love yourself first, because that exudes, that pours out of your skin. It's like that energy, that woman at the checkout, when you're taking care of yourself, you are emitting this gorgeous energy to everyone around you. So please take a moment for your self-care. Anyone who's listening, this is your cue.
This is your
take
cue.
a moment.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And it's like, once you get depleted too, it's like, how do you get back to happy medium? So it's better just to
Well,
stay on the
yeah.
path of like, taking that time for yourself. And listen, I'm
Yeah. And
guilty.
making
I'm
it part of
guilty.
your routine. We all are. We all have
Yes.
moments where we do that, but it's so
Mhm.
important. And you can start with little things. It doesn't have to be, I mean, look, I love
Yeah.
spiritual baths. Don't get me wrong. That's like my
Mm.
favorite go-to. But in California, we have a drought. So I
Yeah.
haven't been able to take my baths. I mean, we're allowed to turn on the water like once a week outside. We're capped at like a certain number of gallons every day for, per
Wow.
person in the household. It's like crazy. So I look at my bathtub and I'm like, really want to go in there. And I'm like, okay, so that's all right. Now I need to switch it up and find a
Yeah.
new way for me to refill my cup because I have to keep doing that. It's so important. So, I have my spiritual showers and I'll sit there with my singing bowl, I journal. I start every morning with my gratitude practice. And anybody who hasn't done that yet, oh my gosh, please try it. It literally shifts your entire vibration into such a positive state that no matter what happens during the day, you're starting up here, right? So no matter how bad it is, it can't knock you all the way down. Maybe a little bit, but then you have the ability to stand back up. And it's simple. It's like, just name off 3, 5 things you're grateful for. They could be little. I'm so grateful I have coffee. I'm so grateful I had a good night's sleep. I'm so grateful I'm healthy. I'm so grateful, that I have a car that works. I'm so grateful that I get to meet beautiful people on
Yeah.
podcasts and share experiences so that others can see it. It can be
Too.
really anything that's important or valuable to you deserves to be honored. And this
Yeah.
really elevates your own vibration. So you start your day just that much happier, that
Mhm.
much vibing that much higher. I
Yeah.
love
And you
that.
could you could restart your day anytime too. If it's
Oh,
like
yes.
yeah. I was
Yes.
reminded
Yeah.
of that yesterday. I'm like, oh yeah. Sometimes I'll hear things that I need to hear at the exact right time.
Sometimes it's usually like that, right?
I
Yeah. No,
know.
and if we
Yeah. Like,
listen, if we
oh,
pay attention.
that's what
Yeah.
it is. I hear it
Yeah.
differently. Like, yep, could be
Yeah.
the
And
same
rather
thing.
than resisting, like just go for it. If that's the message coming in, you're having a rough day, give it like what, I like to do what a lot of moms do too. I know I keep referencing moms, but like,
I love it.
we like to hide in the bathroom because it's like the one place that
Smart.
they typically leave us alone. So, but at work or whatever, you're surrounded by your coworkers, same thing,
Mhm.
right? All these people demanding energy and time from you. Just excuse yourself for a minute because everybody will let you go to the bathroom, right? You go in there, close the stall, and just sit there for a moment, like literally, like
Mhm.
take 2 minutes and do your gratitude practice. And then go to the sink and wash your hands and let the water come up and heal you. Like have it come up to your elbows. Just feel how that and take some deep breaths as you're doing it because this doesn't take any more time than you would have spent going there anyway. So you might as well, use your time wisely and
Yeah,
re-energize
exactly.
yourself, give yourself that moment of peace. Because then when you step back out the bathroom door, all that drama, all that work, all of that minutia is still there. It's not going anywhere. But how we respond to it, we can change that. So you raise your vibration
Exactly.
a little bit, take a moment in the bathroom, take your potty break, and then you step back out that door and you're like, okay, bring it on. Like let's handle this. Let's do it. So
Yes.
that's
Let's
one
go.
of my favorite go-tos. Yes.
I love that. So, where can people find your book? Because meant to ask you that before, but they can find it on your website.
Yes, they can find it on my website. They can find it
Okay,
everywhere. I mean, it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Noble, it's in bookshops. If you don't have it in your bookshop, ask them, they'll order it for you.
I will.
And then in March, I have my Raise Your Vibes crystal cards. It's an oracle deck that is
Yes,
coming
I
out
saw
as well.
that.
So I'm super excited. It's 55 cards of gorgeous crystals and their energy, and you use it as an oracle deck. You can also use them to create your own crystal grids for healing. I mean, every single
That.
card is imprinted with that energy from the crystals, as well as my blessing of Reiki. So not mine, but the blessing, I should say, of Reiki, so that they really are for your highest good. And then they have a ritual for you to enjoy, a quick vibe fix, because those little easy things helps
Yeah.
your spiritual practice so much. If it's too hard, it's too complicated, we tend to give up. So if it's small little things, that helps. So I'm really excited about this one. It was kind of like after I wrote the book, I'm like, okay, what's the next project? And it's like, well, I work with crystals. Let's do an oracle deck. Like,
I love
yes,
that.
right.
Yes.
So that'll come out. It's available for pre-order now. And if you do pre-order it, send me an email with your proof of purchase. And I'm doing 15 minutes of free Reiki, distance Reiki, just
Ooh,
as a token of gratitude. So
that's so
yes,
nice.
yes.
That is
Thank
so nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go
you.
pre-order. I don't have a delivery address, but I'll just pre-order anyways
Well,
because I want to make sure I can get mine.
yeah. Thank
Seriously. Yeah,
you.
no, I
Yes.
love that. I feel like so like the different like dimensions, if you want to call it, like crystals being like the earthly realm and like 2D, if you want to call it that. I just
Yes.
I love crystals, and all mine are back in the States because like I said, I was only supposed to be here for 2.5 weeks, and it's been 4 months in Europe. So
I love it. And now you found your little home away from home. Where are
yeah,
you from in the States? Where
New
from
York
here?
originally. New
Oh, New
York,
York.
and
Okay.
then I was in Florida for 6.5 years, and then Denver, Colorado.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
year and a
Yeah,
half.
I love you've been a little world traveler then. You've been all over the
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
Tapping into
Well,
my Aquariusness.
I know.
All that air energy.
All that area, please let me fly. Yes, I love
Yes.
that. Yes. And London and New York have like kind of a similar look or vibe. I mean, New York is kind of like a baby new London, and then London
Yeah.
is like, the authentic original. But I mean, I definitely saw some similarities there between the two. And I
Yeah.
loved both, of course.
It's so
Yes. But London was
classy
my
here.
jam.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I just love it. I love it. I mean, everything is so classy. I mean, I feel like, the States have some wonderful things too. Don't get me wrong. I live here. It's my home and all that.
Of course. Of
But
course.
it's just a completely different kind of vibe. And in Los Angeles, we're very like, oh, sure, take a moment, hey, what's up? And in London, it's like, oh, hello, how are you? Like very proper. And it's like, I love the way you talk. Let me just
I
listen to
know.
you.
Just keep speaking. I went to an event the other night, and I read something. It was like a spiritual event. They asked me to read so they could hear my New York accent. And I'm like, I want to hear you guys speak. Forget me.
I love it. I love it. I know. I
Oh
know.
my
It's so
gosh.
much fun meeting different people and hearing how they
Yeah,
speak and, just hearing their stories. I mean, my favorite part about traveling, as I'm sure you've learned too, wasn't so much like the landmarks. It was the
exactly.
people that I would meet and watching and being a part of how they live. That's my favorite part of traveling is seeing how people live and being, sharing a small part of that with them.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And traveling
Yeah.
alone, you get to do that a lot more actually. When I traveled solo, oh my God, the people that I would meet versus if you're in a pair, you're not as approachable, when you're in a pair, but when
Yeah.
you're alone, the most amazing conversations happen. People walk up to you out of nowhere. You engage in these wonderful like meetings of the minds. It's so cool. Like
Yeah.
one of
And
my
my dog
favorites.
is with me. My dog. So
Oh,
I'm even more approachable. He's like a black
my
lab.
dog. I hear the
Yeah,
New York. My
exactly.
dog is here.
Coffee dog. Yeah.
I
Since
love
he's
it.
with me, it's like everyone comes up to me. He's like a black lab Australian cattle dog rescue mix, and everyone wants to
Aw.
see him because he's so gentle and calm, and he's so healing. I don't know what I would do without him, really. Like
Oh,
he's so
yeah.
healing. It's like,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah. Our animals, our pets, they're so close to us. And
yeah.
I've done a lot of Reiki,
That's
animal
what you say.
Reiki,
Yep.
and they just love it. I mean, it's so funny. I have to like close the door when I do my crystal grids and healings because my cat will come and like jump on my crystal grids. I'm like, no, get out of
Oh,
here.
and I
And then my
love
dog, she loves to be on the rug in here next to me, and I can't have her in here during podcasts and recording because she's an English bulldog and she has a very loud way of breathing.
I love
A
her.
little disruptive,
Oh,
but she loves it. And they both have crystals hanging from their collars. And I
aw.
mean, it's just, they just gravitate towards that energy with like children with such an innocent openness and acceptance. And I love that, because people, we tend to be a little bit, like a little wary of anything that's new. And that's our amygdala, kicking in, like, ooh, is it going to be dangerous? Is it safe? Is this going to kill me? That kind of thing,
Yeah.
and we have all these like worries. But animals and children, they're just like, yes, give me more, give me more. And I love that innocence and that openness. And they have so much to teach us, like about love and about being close and sharing our energy together. So yes,
do you think that's why, like, animals, when you do Reiki on them, it's so much quicker than on humans sometimes? Like,
oh yes,
that's why, right?
They're so open. There's no walls, there's no walls to break through. There's no inhibitions. There's no, what if this and what is that? And they're amazing, because when you do work on them, they also know when they're done.
Yeah.
So they like get up and they're like, all right.
Yeah, they literally let you know. Yeah.
They literally let you know. It's so cool to watch that. Yeah.
It's so powerful. I love it. It's so powerful.
Yeah. And horses also are so receptive. And there's a lot of horse rescues around here. They love to go and help and volunteer, or just sit next to them quietly. And I don't try to go up and, okay, let me put my hands and go through the motions. Like, you don't have to do all that. I mean, once you have Reiki level 2, you can channel that distance, and that distance can be, next to each other. It can be 5 feet. It can be across the world. It doesn't matter. But when you share that energy, and there's so many of these horses and these other animals that are struggling, they've been abandoned, or they were starved, they weren't well cared for, and they end up in these like adoption, healing spaces where people are taking care of them again. And they too have like wounds that need to heal. And when you work with them with animal Reiki, they feel so much better. Their appetite improves. Like that anxiety, horses get a lot of anxiety and like skittish behavior, that calms down. I mean, there's so many things, so many ways that it helps. I can't get enough. I'm like, where else can I do Reiki?
I know. Animals are the best. But you could, let's say that you could do Reiki on anything, right?
Well, you can. Yeah. I mean, everything is energy. So look around you. Everything and anything you see is energy. And so there are literally, that's one of the most beautiful things about Reiki, is there literally are no limits to where you can channel this energy and enjoy this beautiful vibration. There's no limits. Work on your crystals, work on your manifesting, work on your personal body, work on your mind, letting go of, self-sabotaging thoughts. Like, we can do that with the gift of Reiki. If you just allow yourself to be open to it and accept it. That's really what it is. You just have to say yes. That's it. Yeah. That's one of the easiest. That's it. Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Oh, you're such a beautiful healer. Thank you so much for everything today. Is there anything else you want to share? Like your contact information, your website? I'll put it all in the description.
Thank you. Yes. Well, you can find me at crystalreikihealer.com. I should say that slower. crystalreikihealer.com for those listening. And I have my own YouTube channel here as well. It's Crystal Reiki Healer. So all my social media will be Crystal Reiki Healer. You can also look up Athena Bahri. I'll pop up there. My books and my Oracle deck will be available, Amazon and any other bookstore that, is close to you. Go for it. And again, I do that 15-minute free Reiki. I hold monthly virtual Reiki circles as well. So for anybody who would like to join, I do in-person ones at the beach, which is incredible, but so many people live far and don't get to participate. So I started doing virtual ones, and that information also will be at crystalreikihealer.com. And I just love being able to share this gift with others. Just say yes, just be open, just try it. You have nothing to lose. Thank you so much for having me here on your show. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share all of this with your audience, and hopefully it has reached that one person that really needed it today. So thank you for that opportunity.
I had the chills the entire time, sister.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.